Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we're going to go ahead and review the NASDAQ and the S&P. Look at the technical levels and look at where we pulled back to today. As you guys saw, today was a little bit of a slide to the downside. However, we didn't really give up that much of the move that we saw on Monday and Tuesday. I think what most people were doing, they were waiting, maybe de-risking a little bit as we approach the inflation data that will be coming out tomorrow morning. So today we're going to look at the technicals, review some of the levels. I wanted to get this out today because I think this is important for anyone out there that is trading, that is going to be heading into tomorrow, looking to see what happens in the market. We need to watch these levels and we need to pay attention to the inflation data that will be released tomorrow. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to stay tuned and get more analysis every single morning, come hang out in the pre-market live streams. It starts at 8 a.m. It is a fantastic way to start your morning. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and start here on the 4-hour chart on the NASDAQ. I think this is very crucial to understand coming into tomorrow. Where did we pull back to today? What levels do we need to watch into tomorrow when we get inflation data in the morning? Then when we see that data come out, does the market fall? Does it push higher? After it does fall or push higher, depending on what the inflation data is showing, what levels do we need to watch for support, for resistance? We need to understand the levels as we approach tomorrow, and that is why I wanted to make this video. So, first of all, the big level is down here at 15.7. You don't really want to see a drop down to 15.7 tomorrow. If we see that, then of course there's going to be a lot of downside pressure. So 15.7 is like the big wall that we need to hold. If we break 15.7 any time in the future here, we're definitely going to see some downside pressure. So that should definitely be on your charts. 15.7 is a major level that we definitely want to see hold, or at least around that, right? Because you can see we definitely fell below it a few times, but this range from 15.7 to 15.6 is going to be major on the NASDAQ. Now, in the shorter term, if we zoom in here just a little bit more, you can see where we pulled back to today, and it actually makes quite a bit of sense. We went ahead and we pulled back to some of these previous lows right in this area around 15.1, 15.115. I'm just going to go ahead and call it 15.110, right in that area. It's a little bit of a range. You know, it's never going to be right to the dollar amount. But what you'll see is that we had previous highs here. We turned that into support, turned it into support multiple times. 1, 2, 3, and today was 4. So when I see 4 attempts at the same level and we hold up support, that is definitely going to be a key level for me to watch, right? So that is a very key level that I am watching tomorrow as we get this data. Do we hold it? Do we fall below it? That is something that I'm going to have to keep an eye out for. So 16.110, 16.100, all in this range. You guys can see this is a very important structure point on the market, and we pulled right back to it today. Now, could this just be a little bit of a push, a little break and retest of this previous resistance that is going to turn into support? That's absolutely possible. You can see previously we turned that into resistance. You had support, support, support. When you fell and tried to go back above, you turned it into resistance, right? So that is a normal support into resistance type of technical factor. Now, over Monday and Tuesday of this week, we pushed through that level. We found resistance once again at this extremely tough level here at 16.4. And now today we pulled back to this previous support. So do we do a little break and retest, a little hold of this 16.110? I think it's possible, but inflation data gets in the way. So that is something we need to be aware of. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see maybe you could call this a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders. There's your left shoulder, here's your head, and maybe you are forming your right shoulder, creating an inverse head and shoulders. That could be a bullish move. But yet again, inflation data is approaching, and that will definitely change the outcome depending on how that data looks. So 16.110, 16.100, a key level here on the NASDAQ. Now, resistance to the upside. You can clearly see this 16.4 is an absolute nuisance. Every time we get up to this level, I'm going to go ahead and turn this red for us because that is clearly a resistance. And what you'll see is that every time we hit it, we find some nasty rejection, including this morning. If I go to the 5-minute chart, look at what the NASDAQ did this morning. We pushed higher this morning, a very nice move to the upside, and just an instant rejection here at 16.4. Sellers came in, a lot of selling imbalance, and you can see the slide that we got today. So we basically are just moving within this range on the NASDAQ as we anticipate and as we wait for this economic data to approach. If I go to the 4-hour once again, you will see this channel that I'm referring to. We are stuck in this channel between 16,110, let's just call it 16,100, and this 16,400. It's about a 300-point range that we continue to find volatility in. I believe tomorrow should give us a little bit more of an idea of which direction this market wants to go. Do we break down and do we continue that downside pressure, or does tomorrow help us get through this 16.4? That is going to be a very interesting thing to see. It should be an exciting day to see how this all works out. As always, guys, make sure you don't have too much risk on your portfolio during these times, because you don't want to be caught on the wrong side and get crushed because of an upcoming event that you may know about already. You don't want to go into a day like tomorrow, inflation data, with some very key levels that need to hold and get crushed even though you knew this was upcoming, right? You want to make sure your portfolio is risked, is de-risked, to make sure that you are okay no matter the outcome of this move here on the NASDAQ tomorrow. So that's the NASDAQ. Those are the key levels that I would be watching, guys. The last thing I want to show you is the 20 SMA on the daily chart. I'm not trusting it that much because when a market is sideways, like we have seen here over the last about a month, I don't really trust the SMAs because the SMAs are much better in a trend. This is not so much of a trend. We did bounce off the 50 here, which was nice. Do I trust this 20 here? It looks like it's just sort of getting chopped up. You can see multiple attempts below and above and below the 20. So I'm not trusting it much, but it is there. It's right around the 16,215, just to let you guys know. So that's the NASDAQ. That is something that I want to make sure anyone that follows this channel knows about. Let's go ahead and quickly look at the S&P as well. So it's a very similar story here on the S&P, guys. Here's the 4-hour chart. And what I want to show you today is, first of all, the huge level at 45.30, 45.40. This is your big brick wall that needs to hold. It is right there. It's the big green zone on your chart. That is a must hold. If we see this market fall below those lows, then it's clear, guys, that this market is definitely going to be on some downside pressure. Today, where did we pull back to? We pulled back to some previous support that was previous resistance that was support at one time. So this area right here, this 46.60, this was support. This was support. It turned into resistance after we fell below it, and we pulled right back to it today, right? So very interesting. We're pulling right back to that level as we approach this economic data. Do we hold this 46.60 tomorrow? That is going to be on everyone's watch, everyone's mind. Do we hold this very key level as we approach tomorrow? I think you guys should be aware of it. That's why I'm making this video. This is a 46.60 level that if you're bullish, you definitely want to see this hold. If you are bearish, if you fall below this, you probably get some downside pressure into this little gap between 45.40 and 46.60. This area here doesn't have much structure. It's just a little bit of consolidation in this area. This level that we're at right now, as of today in the after hours, that we're holding right now, if I go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see we are attempting to hold that level right now in the after hours. So big level, must hold. That's why I wanted to make this video, sharing with you guys some of these levels today, guys, on the NASDAQ and on the S&P. I think these are going to be big. I think they're going to be very important as we approach tomorrow. The last thing I want to share with you guys is just quickly the outperformance, the slight outperformance that we went ahead and saw on the Dow today. So if I go out to the 4-hour chart, we definitely got a little bit of outperformance on the Dow. You guys can see we held up for the most part. Today, a little bit of just sort of choppiness, not much action, a little bit of a hold on the Dow. This is the big level that I'm watching, 35.5 on the Dow Jones. You guys can see previous resistance. I would love to see that turn into support. You can see it turned into support here. It turned into support here. And if you are bullish, you definitely want to see it hold here again at 35.5. So that's the Dow level. That's a big level into tomorrow as well. I hope you guys enjoy this quick little futures analysis, making sure you have your levels set out tomorrow, preparing you for a pretty interesting day. I think it's going to be a telling day. I think it's going to definitely decide maybe the heat of the market over the last month of the year, over December, the rest of December. I think tomorrow will have a lot to do with it. So if we hold these levels, if we push through resistance, you probably get a nice little move into end of year. If inflation data causes a lot of concerns and you get that downside, then you probably know that we're going to be under pressure here, and you have to sort of trade according to that, that analysis and that news. So that's what I have for you today, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video. All right, guys, so that's what I have for you. If you want to stay tuned to this analysis tomorrow morning, watch what happens live for the CPI data. Come hang out in the live streams tomorrow. We're going to start at 8 o'clock. We're going to be live for 8:30 when this news drops, and it's going to end around 9 a.m., the live stream. So come hang out in the live stream, see what happens live, see if we hold these levels, and you guys can sort of get my analysis on it, get my commentary. I'd love to see you there. It's completely free. It's here on the YouTube channel. If you want to be notified of when I go live, subscribe, press the bell down below so you guys know when I go live. If you enjoyed today's video, press that like button before you head out. Subscribe to the channel, of course, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.